You want a joke? There's your joke. Hello everyone, welcome to Shelf Space. I'm your host, Rodimus13, and today we are doing the out-of-box review for the RG Tallgeese Endless Waltz version. So as I mentioned in the unboxing, this was my very first Real Grade kit. I won it for being first place in the intermediate category on Shoki's Lupus for Lupus contest. And it's been kind of exciting and fun putting this together, though there's been some tribulations with it, but I'll get into that when we get into the review proper. First, let's take a look at the box. So, we got some really nice CGI artwork of the Tallgeese, which represents the kit. It says Tallgeese EW, which I keep on chuckling a little bit because I look at that and it goes like it says Tallgeese ew. Bunch of extra little data that I'm not even going to worry about reading. Got the same artwork as before. Look at the inner frame and showing all sorts of different panels and thrusters and stuff that it can do. There's the sticker sheet. We'll talk about that more later. The built kit. All the runners next to it. The same artwork as before. BandaiHobby.net. We got some nice action poses. Got it with the gun, the sword, just standing there stoically, looking off into the distance. Got the same one as the other side, except this time we got the bluefin sticker. On the back, it's all clear and black. But, apparently this is a thing with RG kits. If I can open it up, there we go. We got more stuff inside! So this one is just callouts for other kits from the same line that would be in the same scale. So in this case we got the Wing Gundam Zero, showing all of the Endless Waltz line in HG. Just information about where you can find info about Gundam. I'm dropping the box. And then showing the RG Tallgeese 1 with the HD Tallgeese 3, which I think that's maybe a P Bandai thing or something, or was that the Master Grade? I don't know. That's okay though. Some more write-up stuff and the same info as before. Alright then. That's enough looking at the box. Let's look at the figure itself. Alright. So, here is the Tallgeese. And I gotta say, he looks pretty darn cool. There are some odd things about him that I'll bring up as I go along. But I'll just say it right now. Overall, I do not regret trying to build this kit. Now, eagle-eye viewers may notice that the shield is not properly installed on this thing, and that's because I did not like the way it looked when it was properly installed, so I flipped a couple of pieces around so that way it rode a little bit higher up and closer in. Otherwise it felt like it stuck out a million miles from it, and I just did not care for that look at all. Now, another thing to note, there is actually a Leo style head underneath the helmet. I can't really get the helmet off anymore after I put it on, and I don't really want to show it off anyway because I think I messed up on the sticker for the head there. So we're just going to leave it like this. Speaking of the head, it's on a ball socket joint that allows for rotation around at least a little bit, but it's banging into things because of the way the head is shaped. So you got sort of a natural direction there, but you can't do a full rotation around. You can look up, you can look down. Arms can move around. You get some interference with the thrusters in the back, but you can move those out of the way if you need to. You get a rather lovely elbow bend, though something weird that I noticed, the arm cannot straighten out completely. And I thought that was really, really strange. The wrist is on a ball socket joint and Can do all the usual wiggle waggle that one would expect from that. The Dober gun is on this neat little system of joints and can be removed if you wish. As can that. That was not supposed to happen. You're making me look bad. Not that it's hard, but, you know, don't. The same can be said for the shield. Because of the way I assembled it, I have lost a little bit of the intended mobility for it, but it can still move around. There's actually a handle here, so if you use the different set of hands, which we'll get into later, you can have him hold on to it. And there are beam sabers here that can rotate around and actually be removable. Okay, come on. Back into position, you. So you have quite a bit of articulation here in the waist. You have a little bit of trouble moving things around, but that is a very impressive ab crunch. And if you make sure this little panel is in the back right here is in position, you can actually get a little bit of backwards movement as well. Trying to show that off, and the shield blocks the view. Legs, well, you have a little bit of trouble moving them up. There we go. And a nice knee bend with some part separation and parts reveal, though you don't really have a whole lot of interesting stuff showing off there. Ankles can rotate a little bit, and you got a toe joint. Like, there's multiple joints here in the foot. And for a 1/144 scale kit, that is simply amazing, at least to me. Mainly because I've never built a RG kit before, so I'm not used to seeing this kind of stuff. I remember when I was assembling it, I started flexing it. I was like, it would be neat if it had a toe joint, and then suddenly it bent, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Since we're here at the foot, something that I do not like about this kit is this ankle guard is not connected to anything. Maybe I missed a step in the instructions, but I've checked several times, and all it says to do is just put it down, put the leg over it, and call it a day. Which means it rattles around, and it just makes, it kind of causes the entire kit to feel a little bit flimsy, even though it isn't. The kit is actually fairly sturdy. Okay, let's do a Van Damme test. That's about what you can do, so not super impressive, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. The hip skirts can move around in all sorts of different directions. The thrusters in the back can actually open up, revealing little thruster bells there. And then these vernier pods can also open up. I think there's a trick to these that I haven't quite figured out. It looks like there's like supposed to be a little thing here, but I haven't been able to engage it properly. But you can open things up, pull the thrusters out. It causes all sorts of little panels to move around. It's actually very impressive. You can see it compared to a closed one there. Really, this guy is a little tiny marvel of engineering. I've been told that he's essentially just a miniaturized version of the Master Grade kit. I've never actually built the Master Grade kit, so I can't say one way or the other if that is the case. All right. Accessory-wise, he comes with lots of different hands. So we got some holding fist hands for both sides. These are really handy. Oh, come on, focus. For the beam sabers. He's got a more specialized angled holding hand, which I believe, judging by the fact that there's only one for the right arm, tells me that this is probably specifically for the Dober gun. And then he's got 2 expressive hands, 1 for each side. Focus. There we go. He also comes with 2 different sets of beam sabers. We got the traditional pink one, which I got one popped out so I can use it for him wielding the beam saber. And then we got this clear set. Now, the parts that were in here were for, I think, the camera that's on the Dober gun, which is super tiny, and I kind of wonder why they even bothered. And I think this might have been for the visor on the helmet. But I, for the life of me, have no idea why they would include clear beam sabers. And when I look at the instructions, it says, yeah, you can use these or the pink ones for the kit. And it's just really, really weird. Maybe you could paint them, but you could also paint these too. I don't know. Okay. Oh, one last one. He also comes with a teeny tiny Zex Marquise. If it will focus. And no, I have not painted mine. At least not yet. I'm going to try at some point, and maybe I'll post a video about that. But this is so small, it's intimidating. Because I have never done anything quite like that, and I'm kind of afraid to try. But I'll give it a shot at some point. One other accessory it comes with is a special adapter for action bases. See, this guy doesn't come with a regular hole in the crotch like most HG kits, or 1144 scale kits, I should say, have. And I guess it's because there's some engineering in the hips that allow for some extra articulation, which I just realized I don't think I did anything with, but we're moving on. So you just slide that on, and you can pop it onto any appropriate action base. And I gotta say, he looks pretty darn cool when you have them all rigged up like that. Let's see if I can get him in a neat pose here. Like he's flying forward. There we go. Okay. The other thing. So, you'll see that I got all sorts of little red and black markings all over this guy. He comes with a huge sticker sheet. This little guy here. And I didn't care for them much. Maybe it's just my inexperience with Gunpla, at least with Gunpla of this nature, but those stickers were a nightmare. They're tiny, so trying to get them peeled off was incredibly difficult, even with some of the advanced quote-unquote techniques that I was using. And sometimes it felt like they were too sticky. Sometimes it felt like they were not sticky enough. I had several that the backing actually came off with it, and I pretty much had to trash the sticker. So I'm actually missing a couple of sticker details because I just flat couldn't do them. I mean, you can't argue with the results. He looks pretty sweet with all these markings on there. It really does add something to it. But yeah, that was my least favorite part of doing this kit. So yeah, overall, I like this kit. I would highly recommend it to others, but keep in mind, it is super detailed, super intricate. The feet themselves came with like 50 different pieces. I'm over-exaggerating, but every part of this has lots of steps, lots of pieces. So this isn't exactly a beginner's kit. But if you have some more experienced stuff under your belt, give it a shot. The price was right for me because I won this guy. But I'd say pick it up if you can. Alright, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, all that fun YouTube stuff. And I'll see you guys the next time you invade my shelf space.